And we're live, Chris. Chris, you're still muted.
Well, my screen's frozen, so that's kind of the issue there. So go figure. Whatever. I guess we'll just deal with it like that.
You're not on your laptop, are you?
No, I'm not. And that's kind of a interesting fact, isn't it? I just check in. It's the way things go sometimes. And right now, with everybody being on the internet and all that fun stuff, what can you say? Hey guys, how you doing? This is Chaos Central, and you were watching The Rule of Three, typically on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today at a special time because I had a major headache. We had weather coming into Kansas City yesterday, so on and so forth. So we had to postpone it till today at 7 o'clock. Right after this, you'll jump over to Danny's channel or stay here. No, don't stay here because I don't think we have Danny set up the simulcast yet. We'll have to get him on that. But right now, you can watch this on Chaos Central or you're watching it on The Real Review 3000. Either way, thank you for being here today. Let me fix that problem too. Now that I think about it, I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? Let's flip the background.
I've got a few opinions.
You know what? Your opinion is null and void.
I mean, that's your opinion.
Exactly, because my opinion is much more important than yours. Anyways, how are you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic, bro. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Sean, how you doing?
Well, I kind of feel like I'm at the point in Mr. Mom where Michael Keaton is all kind of disheveled.
I think we all are feeling like that. My hair is like crazy. I hate to know what your hair is. I'm pretty sure you shoved it all in there.
Oh man,
I know your hair and my hair grows like crazy.
It's all showered and stuff.
Look at you.
It's like one of the.
I see stubble though, Danny. I see stubble.
Yeah, because I hadn't shaved it yet. I got my shaver, and man, I got tired of paying $20 and $25 for a haircut, man.
I can cut my own hair. Hey, Gaming or what? How you doing there? Glad to see you guys. Boomer. That's 2 O's though, not 2 M's. Bomber.
He wishes he was Matt Bomber.
Guys, thank you for watching though. So we're gonna go right into this because we only have till just about 8 o'clock. Danny's time, 7 our time, Sean.
And then it's the end of the world.
As we know it, it's the end of the world as we know. Okay. But basically the rule of 3 is very simple. We pick 3 topics off of the wheel of topics. We each get 3 minutes to talk about it. Then we take 3 minutes after that to argue, agree, or some other form of things. That's basically how this works, guys. Do us a favor. As always, please help us out, tweet us out so everybody knows what we're doing. And don't forget also here a little bit later, I will send out the Chaos Central YouTube link, or Sean, you can put it in the chat right now if you'd like to. That way you guys can go over there and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. So that way we can get our vanity title and we can start doing all of the Chaos Central shows over on Chaos Central. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel and find out what our first topic is today. Who are your favorite 2 captains in the Star Trek franchise? Who are your favorite 2 captains in the Star Trek franchise? And I assume that we need to discuss that in the sense of, why. I know what Sean's answer might be, but speaking of Sean, 3 minutes are on the board. The 3 minutes is if you need it. You don't have to use it, of course, here.
Oh, man.
But your time starts now.
Okay. Well, I'm not a huge Trekkie. I mean, I grew up watching Star Trek, with my dad. I've seen all the movies. I don't dislike it. But the 3 captains that I'm most familiar with, of course, are Kirk, Picard, and then Archer. Those I've seen bits and pieces of Janeway and what's the other dude's name?
Cisco,
the bald dude. Yeah.
Yes.
I like Cisco. I do like Cisco, and Janeway was okay. But my favorite out of all of them is probably Archer, because Star Trek Enterprise got off to a very slow start, but by the like the middle 2 seasons or so, it was like popping, and I thought if they had to do a prequel to Star Trek, that was a pretty good way to do it. Honorable mention would have to be Andromeda. I like Andromeda more so than any Star Trek property.
Yeah, Andromeda is a really good. It was like that. It was all the stuff he never incorporated into Star Trek, pretty much, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when did it come out? I don't even remember that. Who was the captain?
It was a few years ago, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was in the early to mid-O's. Kevin Sorbo was the captain. I forget his name, but it was.
Did I play Hercules?
Yeah.
It's basically
it was the leftovers from Star Trek, basically.
And they basically they found all these writings of Gene Roddenberry's, and they put it together for the show, and it was a big deal because we didn't have anything new Star Trek wise. So go figure.
And, I mean, Andromeda. I know a lot of hardcore Trekkies will probably curse my name for this, but at least. Like if you think about it fairly, Andromeda was the last maybe semi-pure idea left over from Roddenberry, and it's definitely better, in my opinion, than the 2 new series. I've tried watching them both, and they've both given me tummy aches.
Tummy aches.
Yes, nice. It makes me nauseous, basically. So yeah, but yeah, I would say Archer, Kirk, and Picard. I mean, they all have different characteristics, but they're both very good with their crew.
Yeah, definitely. All right, 3 minutes on the board for you, Danny. Ready? Here you go.
Yes. I'm gonna say Kirk definitely, and I'm gonna say Janeway, which I love John Luke, but he had to grow on me. First season, not so much, but he grew on me as the show progressed. But I was instantly a Kirk fan. My dad got me on the Star Trek. His favorite character was Mr. Spock, and when I watched Spock and Bones and Kirk's chemistry, I fell in love with that. I love like the last 5 minutes of the show when they say something real funny. One show I remember in particular, Spock was on a mission, and there was like 4 guys on there, and it was on this planet with these ape-like creatures, and it killed one of the guys. And Spock was in command of the space shuttle, and they wanted him to do certain things, but Spock was using logic, wasn't worrying about compassion kind of stuff. And then he did something that they thought was desperate when he let all the gas out of the ship, and it caused a flare. And then Captain Kirk was able to see the flare and beam them out before they crashed back into the atmosphere. And when they came back on the bridge, Bones kind of picked that Kirk, told him, "Look, ask Spock about this." And it was a little joke. If you watch the episode, you will laugh at it because Spock is like super serious, and he kind of rationalized how an act of desperation was a logical thing to do. And the whole crew laughs, and that kind of stuff I like to see at the end. Also, when it comes to Janeway, I just thought that she and Tuvok and Chakotay had a very good chemistry. They were like the 3 on that particular show. I thought their episodes were more interesting because they were trapped in the Delta Quadrant by themselves, had very little resources, and they had to think on their feet, do stuff real quick. They had to kind of learn on the fly because they didn't know who was the enemy, who was friends, and it was just really challenging series. And I thought it was written because they never knew what was coming up next. Also, like the interaction with Q. Q was he kind of latched on to Janeway, and in one of the episodes, he didn't get him all the way back to home, but he gave him probably he cut like 3 or 4 years off the trip. But part of the trip was to teach them about different parts of space and to educate the Earthlings on the dangers out there in space. So I always thought Janeway was a very awesome captain. And of course, Kirk is like the granddaddy of them all. So those are my two favorite, with John Luke being a very close third.
Q is a very interesting character, I have to say.
Yes, Q is a great crossover into Voyager, Next Generation, and
He was in all of them. And
Space
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
the only one he wasn't in was the Enterprise.
I wish they would have put him in Enterprise, because that would have tied Enterprise much closer to the rest of them.
That would have been interesting.
And if you remember, Q's son, they say this in I don't know if the Squire of Sathos or something was the name of the actual episode, and there was a being on there that had powers, and they said it was Q's son or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so my top two are always going to be Kirk and Picard. Always. No doubts about it. I watched Voyager religiously, and I liked Voyager. And I will say this, of all of the captains of all of the shows, the one that actually had it the toughest was Janeway, because there was a malfunction that put them millions, if I remember right, millions of light years away. I mean, literally so far out that nobody could contact them. So if we think about this, Kirk still had Starfleet close and could always contact them. He could always talk to other captains and get advice. He had people in his family or that were close to him that he could still get. Same thing with Picard. Picard could talk to the admirals he trusted, the people that he had always gone to. So they always had that backing. Janeway didn't. Not only that, they had an AI nurse or an AI sickbay doctor that really couldn't. I think in later episodes, he actually learned how to actually interact with a person and do something. I think they
put a emitter on him.
Yeah.
Made him
more physical. He could actually touch and do, but originally he couldn't even do that. They had to have a nurse, and it wasn't even the next. It wasn't even it wasn't the doctor, and it wasn't the main nurse. It was like a third or fourth nurse. I mean, it was crazy how so everything compounded. Janeway had the hardest of all of their jobs, and I really liked that.
Because, also speaking of Janeway, how hard she had it, it's kind of relevant also to bring up the issue that she was the first female captain
that we followed.
Yes, but I mean, it premiered in 1995.
Yeah.
So that had to have been a very tough sell at the time. I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is if we're in a world where everybody wants strong female character, or they say they want strong female characters. So what do? They make a strong female character. No, she had to show she was strong, because she was she was thrust into a situation, but she did what a good leader does. She relied on people who were around her. Not only that, but they had a dissenter in their ranks who was actually
in the middle three with the most diverse crew.
Yeah.
They had an Indian as a first officer, a black, Vulcan, a Blackadder as and then her, a female. So they had a very diverse crew.
So she had a dissenter on her ranks. She had they had the first Borg, which was really, I mean, she had been unassimilated, but still, it was the fact that they found her. It was just amazing. It was like all this stuff really kind of spoke against her, but still, my two favorite are Kirk and Picard. 3 minutes on the board to talk about this a little bit more.
If you think about it, though, Star Trek has always been kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to diversity. I mean, they did the first black captain, which was Cisco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then they did the first female, which was Janeway.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with, they were very diverse, but she had it the tough, because she had a Maquis on one side that were kind of like freedom fighters, and she had to kind of mail the Maquis and the Starfleet guys to make sure that they would trust each other, because she had to place the Maquis in key positions, which was very hard to do.
Thing. That's what I was talking about. It's just she sat there, and of course, all those Starfleet people were like, "Oh no, you can't do that. They're not trustworthy." But she basically, as a leader, said, "Wait, you got to listen to me. If we don't do this, they're going to be more of a problem if we try to cut them out. We have to work with them. We have to work together. And that's what a true leader does. And I can't remember what it was, but yeah, they figured out either they got their warp drive working again or something, but
they were able to
wormhole. It was wormhole, wasn't it?
Yeah, they sent the AI through this very tight beam or something back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to slowly track them back and get them back in there.
Yeah, but that's the thing I was like, I always liked about Star Trek is they always found a way to wrap up series. I don't know about now, but the old series
I haven't watched Picard and I haven't watched the newest one,
Discovery.
So I haven't watched Discovery.
Yeah,
I saw the first 2 episodes because it was free.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it was good enough for me to pay that CBS access, so that's why I didn't watch it.
But I
ain't gonna lie about it.
The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager all had a good wrap. I can't remember the end of Enterprise, but I think they wrapped it up pretty neatly.
I believe so. I've never
watched Enterprise. I only saw a few. It really didn't catch my attention.
I liked the idea because if I remember right, it was based off of this was the first Starfleet ship.
It was the first Enterprise, so they should have.
Not just the first Enterprise, wasn't it? The first Starfleet ship, Sean.
It's been a while. I want to agree with you, but I can't.
The guy that started warp drive, his name was Cochran. What was his first name? Something Cochran.
Johnny.
And he he started the warp drive, and then the Enterprise was the first. Was like the flagship.
No, the guy from First Contact.
Yeah,
and that's what I liked about it. It kind of worked together it worked together within the grouping of everything, and that's what I liked about all these Star Trek. Up until, from what I hear, Discovery and Picard totally disengaged themselves from.
I wish they would have done Enterprise first, because it kind of like how people say how the Black Widow movies now is coming 2-3 years late.
Yeah. All right, our second topic of the night, if it wants to actually help me out here. Do you think Marsala Ali will be in prime martial arts shape to pull off a believable blade? Do you believe he'll be in prime martial arts shape to pull off a believable blade?
This is a serious question.
I guess I didn't write it.
I wrote it.
I know you did. Okay, so Danny, why don't you start then? 3 minutes. It's on.
I hope he will. I have zero worries about him being able to act, because he is an Oscar nominated and Oscar award-winning actor. But martial arts isn't as easy as some would like to think, and I don't know what his age is. And I know that some of these a lot of these actors dive into stuff, but the one good thing that we were spoiled with was Wesley Snipes was a martial artist years before. So the transition from him going into that was seamless. Someone starting from scratch, based on my research and reading, he's never been a martial artist. So
I thought he had been. Okay.
I've never. So I don't think Wesley Snipes was like 6 different degrees and all this kind of crazy crap and stuff. So it was nothing for him to transition into that. But I don't know how dedicated I hope he would be dedicated, being the fact that he called Kevin Feige and said he wanted to be in here. So I think he's going to do it. I hope he gets the sufficient training, the particular style that we're accustomed to seeing Blade. I've heard somebody say that they want to be more like John Wick. I don't want him to be like a judo style Blade. That's not gonna get it. He need to do some kind of karate, that stuff that's flashy, a lot of the hand movement, like what Blade do, a lot of the sword work. That's what I want to see. And I really want to see stuff like they did in the Matrix, like some of his moves in slow motion. That's the stuff I want to see. Can he do it? I think he can. What style he's going to learn, I don't know, but I hope whatever style he learned is going to transfer over into the film and be like, wow, that sucker is awesome. I don't want to show it where we can definitely tell it's a stunt man. I don't want to do that. I want to. When I see stuff, I want to see him. I know there's going to be some CGI like it was in Blade 2. The fight scene when they were first went to Blade's warehouse, you could tell that was CGI in front of the lights. That I don't mind. But when we get down, like when he fought Dracula and the different vampires and stuff, we could tell it was Wesley Snipes. The main scene when he first walked into that club when all the blood was dripping out the sprinkler system, everybody like Daywalker. That shit he was doing, that's what I want to see. I want him to have the same effect when he walked into a room, the vampires is like, oh shit, it's time to go. So I hope he does. I think he has the skill to do it. I just hope he has the discipline and be able to pull it off. Whatever style he learns, I hope it will transfer into the big screen, and we will be very much pleased. You got big shoes to fill with Wesley Snipes.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, Shaun.
All right. First of all, I want to apologize for asking if this was a serious question because I was under the assumption that he was a martial artist. I forget who told me that, but I just was checking his Wikipedia as you were talking, and he's like a rapper turned actor, you know. And I forgot he was the dude who played Cottonmouth in the Luke Cage series. So the thing is, we have two possible disadvantages here. One, this is going to be a Blade being shoehorned into the MCU because Blade, if you go back to like the Wesley Snipes films, those would not work inside the MCU. You know, they were just too accurate to the comic, too violent, and so you're going to have to find a way to write the character and write the world without going down that rated R path, you know. And let's just face it, Blade was, I mean, it was a bloody trilogy, you know. There was blood all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that Blade, the character, is a martial artist and can do all of that stuff, you know, Wesley Snipes he nailed it on so many levels. And the fact that he met with, I believe he met with Feige and wanted to actually be Blade in the MCU, and they passed, you know, and went to somebody that, yeah, okay, he's still older, but Wesley Snipes still looks.
Oh, Wesley Snipes is still. Yeah, I think he's so good.
You know,
because Ali is 46.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so I think Wesley Snipes, I mean, I think he could have still pulled it off, and you know, he still has the conditioning and stuff, you know, the martial arts. So, you know, Ali has. I have no doubt that he will commit to it, you know, especially since he contacted, you know, Marvel and said, "Hey, I'm interested in this part," but you know, the martial arts have to be on point. You know, it can't, like Danny said, it just can't be a stuntman every time you turn around. And that's kind of what I'm afraid of at this point. You know, I mean, granted, he has time to learn, but to really perfect it, you need years. You know, you pull it off to the extent that Wesley Snipes did, you need to be a student of the martial arts for years and years. And that's something that I'm really worried about. And I hope they don't like either do it with stuntmen or CGI. Because when you see the CGI stuff doing martial arts, it looks really, really bad.
All right. So 2 words, and hopefully you guys will agree with this. And I got to remember his name. Yeah, great. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Give me the Matrix guy.
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves. 2 words, Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves had absolutely no martial arts training before the Matrix. They put him through, and if you have the DVDs, if you have the collector set, whatever, you can watch all the stuff about this, especially on the original VHS, because we had that, and they had all the breakdowns of the bullet time and all that. One of the things was about, I think it was a 4-month crash course, like nonstop, 15 hours a day training, And I mean, that was 7 days a week they talked about. For him, Carrie Moss, right? Or
Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah, I think so. And Lawrence Fishburne and those three main ones. The other ones had a little less, but they still had some because they had to do some of the scenes. They worked the hell out of Keanu Reeves. And look at what he did. Nowadays, think about what he does. He's in John Wick and all of these things. And that comes back from that. So if they can get him up to speed like that, trust me, they'll get this guy up. This will work out.
Keanu Reeves is 34 years old.
That's fine. But here's the thing. If you are in relatively good shape, and don't get me wrong here, I'm not trying to generalize or use stereotypes, but most rappers are in pretty damn good shape. They take care of themselves as far as their physical appearance and their ability to lift weights and stuff. I'm pretty sure he's in pretty damn good shape. Most 46-year-olds who are in good shape can continue to do stuff. So I don't have much worry about this. I mean, I don't think that Kevin Feige would have said, yeah, sure, we'll just throw him in there, because he does ask that some of his actors are able to do some of this stuff. And unlike, let's say, Iron Man or Spider-Man, where you can switch to CG or CGI fairly easily, when you're talking Blade, you're talking, what's his mask? He's got the freaking sunglasses. This is it. I'm Blade. That's it right here. You got this. You got to see the person. You can't just hide that person for the whole movie. I really believe they're going to be able to do it. So, yeah, that's what I say. 3 minutes on the board for all of us to talk about.
I'm trying to think back, because it's been a lot of years since I've seen The Matrix, and I know that it did have its fair share of martial arts, but like in its scenes with the martial arts, I just don't seem to remember them being as intense as the martial arts scenes in Blade.
Maybe not, but that was not the point. The point is okay, put it this way. Everything that Keanu Reeves learned from The Matrix, he has been on record as saying that's why he can do John Wick. So think about John Wick.
Yeah.
John Wick, there's like little to no CGI in John Wick.
No, John Wick is on point, and I would agree with the fact that he can do John Wick because of things that he learned from the Matrix trilogy, but Blade is a completely different beast than Neo.
Yeah, because Neo. Well, I don't know about that, because Neo had some of that supernatural powers and stuff.
Well,
as we progress, and he fight at different speeds, just like a regular human fight. If you look at the fight choreography in John Wick, it's not as supernatural or fantastic as Blade is, because John Wick is just a regular human, and Blade is a vampire fighting other vampires. So of course it's going to be amplified.
But if you think about the assist with CGI, if the guy can do it, and assist, because there's going to be a lot of things that are just because he's Blade, because he's
but I mean there weren't like, so in the original Blade film, 1998, there weren't very many assists with CGI. CGI was still fairly new.
No, there wasn't.
And so what you saw was either an actor or a stuntman.
The only thing I remember being CGI in the first one, when he threw the girl, that nurse, like across the damn building and landed her on. You can tell that he was like telescopic vision.
When the bad guy blows up, that was pretty horrid.
But see, the thing, my I guess what I was trying to get at is that
the fight scenes,
when they did use CGI in the original Blade, you could tell, because it was so bad and kind of
it was bad in the second. That's one I noticed and stick out in my mind.
I still think that they can do this, though. I think that they can get enough martial art skill out of him.
They definitely got more time now because of the crisis we go through now. So
well, that's true. And if I just want to see it. I want to see a good Blade movie because I really enjoyed Blade with Wesley Snipes like immensely.
Even though the third one was crap, I still liked it.
Exactly. I mean, I just don't see. For me, I'm glad that you mentioned the third one, Danny, because even though the third one was crap, it was still Blade,
Blade.
And so I feel like the MCU Blade has to at least be on the level of that third movie.
I don't see how they can do it PG-13. I don't
either. I just don't.
It shouldn't be. And I get tired, and I'm not saying this is your guys' fault. I get tired of talking about the fact that everybody's like, well, what if they won't do it because it's PG-13? They won't do it as PG-13 or they'll have to do it as PG-13 because it's Disney or whatever. I don't care. Disney needs to nut up or shut up. Stop worrying about rated R. You have bought all these properties. You do not have the right to just kill properties because you don't want to do rated R.
Yep.
They need a rated R division. That's what they need to do. They need a rated R division, and they need a PG-13 division.
Look, they could easily have kept Fox as the rated R Marvel division, and they could have crossed over with it. Could have been the more adult oriented MCU, and then the MCU proper could be the more family oriented. And when those characters do cross over from Fox into the MCU, they could tone it down a little bit to fit the tone of the MCU movies.
But isn't there a movie classification between PG-13 and rated R?
No, it's rated R than NC-17.
Yeah, and
you couldn't do that. And you couldn't do that. If you do anything NC-17, it kills it. That doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, but rated R, come on, PG-13 has gotten to the point where I'm not even.
Stand for
no children under 17.
Yeah,
even with a parent.
Yes.
Yes.
No child under 17. Period.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I mean,
rated R, you can take a child to. NC-17, you cannot take anybody under 17.
I've never seen a movie like that.
Showgirls was the first one.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot of them, actually.
Okay, last topic, so we can stay on time and run over to Danny's channel right after this.
No, we got an hour and a half for mine. No, that's what at 9.
Oh, that's right. It's 8 o'clock our time. Well, we can take time to answer some of these other things. I always get messed up on this, so yeah, whatever. All right, let's see here. There are 4 more episodes of the Clone Wars. Do you think this season was a bust, or are you enjoying it? See here, Danny, we'll let you go first.
Okay.
3 minutes. Go ahead.
I have watched all 8 episodes of Clone War. I am a Star Wars fan. I enjoyed the Bad Batch, but the story was not needed. It was kind of funny because to me it gave homage to. It reminded me of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because there was one of them was like aggressive, one of them was the leader, is smart, one of them was like a techno, and one was techno aggressive. Well, they had a strong man, the smart man, the leader. And the one that was like the sniper, he could shoot from anywhere. Like I said, it was good. I like the Bad Batch, that story arc, but really wasn't needed. The second story arc is involving Ahsoka Tano. First 3 episodes, episode 5, 6, and 7, were really slow. Episode 8 really kicked it up a notch. The last episode, it got me really excited again about the series. I'm waiting to see Friday what's going to happen. One of the more famous bad guys made his appearance on it. I don't want to ruin it for everybody that may have not watched it. But if you're a fan of Star Wars, I can tell you watch episode 1 through 4 and then jump just straight to 7 and 8. You can skip 5 and 6. I don't think it's a bust, but it's not nothing that making you jump up and down like Mandalorian was. It's not good as Mandalorian, if that's what you're thinking. There's no comparison. It's not good as Rebels. Well, the if you compare Clone Wars and Rebels, I prefer Rebels better. More exciting stories. Clone Wars is kind of much tip. It's going to drop off right before Order 66 is what I'm being told. So if you want to see in animated form what's going to happen, I think Anakin is going to turn, and we're going to see Order 66, and it's going to go off there. So I don't think it's a bust. We've already seen that in Revenge of the Sith, but I think we're going to see that on here or just before the Order 66, somewhere in that time frame.
So it's going to kind of rehash a little bit of episode 3.
Yep, I think it is. Right now, it's showing like one of the Mandalorian wars is about to go into that. These last 4 episodes, it's only, from what I'm being told, it's only going to be 12 episodes. They already showed 8, so these last 4 are going to have to bring it home because a famous Sith has just appeared in this last episode, and he has something that's gonna
change everything.
Yeah. So,
all right, Sean, you want to go next? Oh, well, okay. Do you want to go next, or do you want me to?
No, I mean I won't need the full 3 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I don't have Disney Plus anymore. I canceled it after there was like a lack of stuff, after The Mandalorian. I'm thinking about getting it again, but I've always liked the Clone Wars, and I'm glad that they did bring it back to finish it off. It's even though it's being done by Disney, it's the last thing that was still connected to Lucas, so it holds a little special place in my heart, just for that fact alone. But I don't know. I've been hearing mixed things about this season, and my feeling is that Disney can't really. They can't. Well, I guess they can, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't settle with subpar Star Wars at this point, because The Mandalorian, everyone pretty much like that. Even though there were some aspects that people are like, but overall it was a good show. I think they need to keep going in that direction, and because they really need to reignite the fan base, in my opinion. And even the harshest critics of the new sequel trilogy really kind of rallied around Mandalorian. So that's just kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I'm done.
All right. Go back here. Take the 3 minutes because I'll probably talk for it anyways. I still haven't seen it, but I plan to start it because I liked, like Sean, I liked the Clone Wars. My only issue would be is if we're going to watch parts of what happened in 3, then you get into a big problem because either you do it exactly like that, just in animated form. So anything that has to do with Anakin or any place he went in episode 3 or the fight between him and Obi-Wan, if you see anything of that, it has to be the exact same. It has to be the same dialogue. Can't be different dialogue because you've already established those things. So I would say it needs to end either with Anakin out of it by that time. So we don't even see anything with Anakin in it.
I think they're going to show it from different people aspect. Ahsoka's
that's
aspect.
Fine.
I think they're going to show
as long as you don't hear or see much of what Anakin and Obi-Wan are doing. Because if you see it, it has to be exact because they've already shown it.
Yeah, because I mean, it would be interesting to see it from Ahsoka's viewpoint, because in the prequels there was no Ahsoka. So
no, I hear what you're saying. I agree with you 1,000%. I'm just saying this is going to be shown from Ahsoka's point of view.
That's
what
fine.
was going on when Order 66 went on.
And that's fine. And like I say, if they can cut basically Anakin's part out from that point on.
So Danny, you think it's going to be like more like Rogue One, where it shows like a different perspective of
Yeah.
that's
And
cool.
All
like
you're
that.
gonna know that her master's been killed, and
Yeah.
Darth Vader, and that's what we're gonna see. We're not gonna see him
Okay.
fight.
Yeah, that's what I
Obi-Wan.
mean. That's what I mean. If you
And
cut
that's fine. That's fine.
as soon as Order 66 goes out, if it shows it from Ahsoka's point of view from that point on, I am perfectly fine with it. Cut Anakin's part out of the Clone Wars then, because we've already seen what happened. That's great. And then you just follow Ahsoka from that point on. That's fine. I would be quite all right with that. But I mean, we'll have to see. And I'll give it plenty of chances because I loved the Clone Wars. I liked the movie, and a lot of people didn't like the movie.
The only thing that's weird still for me is that even if they show it from Ahsoka's point of view, which I'm cool with, the prequels didn't establish that Anakin had a Padawan. So that's kind of weird, but I'm willing to give it wiggle room because it's not like it's not like the cinematic universe,
No, but Disney says it's canon with the cinematic universe.
I know, but
So,
it's kind of weird to me.
We'll keep talking about this real quick here.
It's very weird that Ahsoka wasn't in any of the cinematic.
Yeah.
But if you listen to what Lucas said when they got to the second movie, when they got to the Attack of the Clones, he realized that he's going to show the beginning of something he has talked about since the first movie. And the Clone Wars is a really big, important part of Anakin's life. So what he decided to do is he got this deal with Cartoon Network, and he says, I'm going to focus on the Clone Wars, but we're going to animate it. We're going to follow that so people can see what happens between the second and the third film. So as long as they keep up with that, it's fine. I don't care. Fine. We don't know that he had a Padawan. It doesn't matter now because by the time they get to that point, he no longer does. Because why? He's changing. He's turning to the dark side by the end of at the end of 3. So again,
but wouldn't you think though? I mean,
because he's not a master on the cinematic universe. But he's a master.
Yeah, he was. He was granted the. He was granted his place on,
but not master.
That's right. But again, this isn't the first time, and we're going to go into some touchy subjects here. This isn't the first time that Anakin or Vader has done this in what's the Force Unleashed game, that the main character is his apprentice, and somehow he keeps it from the Emperor, but at the same time the Emperor does know about the person.
Yeah,
but that's why Vader kills him.
All do that. Each like the master and the apprentice, each apprentice always has a secret. They call them secret assassins. It's like a Sancho Ventress was Dooku's.
Yes.
So that's normal practice.
Yes, but what I'm saying is it's not unheard of to see this. So perhaps what we're seeing here.
But he was not. He wasn't a Sith when he took on.
No, but how much do we know? And it's been so long since I've seen it. I
think the Sith lore is acceptable. But in Jedi lore, you can't have.
But the thing is I can't remember. I don't remember Obi-Wan ever actually thinking that Ahsoka was his Padawan. Did he?
That's a good question.
Because I don't think he did, and that's what I'm saying. Who's to say?
Did he ever refer to Ahsoka as his Padawan?
Well, there's my question. One, that. Two, here's the thing: if we're following Anakin's storyline. And we'll talk about this for a few more minutes since this was our last topic. If we're following if we're following Anakin's fall and his turning to the dark side, would not one of the things he would do is, when not granted the rank of master, say, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going to train somebody anyways because I am a master. I'm that good. And yet he knows he can't let anybody else know. So then again, he's using the Force to block things from people, which again is a Sith trait.
Yep.
I mean, so that would actually work for the storyline so
that
well.
That would actually make sense because, yeah, I mean, it goes.
And the fact of the matter is that
about him.
when Ahsoka decides, no, I'm not, I'm walking away from this because I don't agree with this, because Ahsoka, again, it follows more of the gray line. The I see both sides. I see some good in both. I understand
it. On Rebel, she was mad because they didn't believe her.
Oh yeah,
and kind of pursued, but Anakin tried to get her back, but she's done pissed off by that time and said, "The hell with the Jedi." Yeah. She hadn't turned her back on them, and she's not gray, so to speak.
No,
she was just like damn sour grapes. I told you I didn't do this. Y'all still believe me, so the hell with y'all. That's how she is. But she still, if you watch Clone Wars, she still does. She still has the ways of the Jedi. She's still compassionate. She'll try to help people, that kind of stuff. She hasn't. She's just mad. She's not. She has not completely turned her back on the Jedi. She just pissed off because they didn't believe her when she thought they should.
I'm trying to look up here. Okay, so no, here's the problem. According to the Clone Wars, the Jedi Council assigned Ahsoka to Anakin as a Padawan, even though it got off to a rocky start. He recognized she's like him. Yeah, see that does. I mean, again, I guess what that would be is the Jedi Council saying, okay, we're not going to give him Master, but because he's on the Council, we need to occupy him, perhaps.
But that L belongs to Lucas because that decision was made.
And that's what I'm saying. We have to kind of accept this, but then we have to ask ourselves what would be.
But in Clone Wars, he was a master because that's what she referred to him as.
But he was never in
only master because she was answering to him.
In the cinematic universe, he was not a master. He was just appointed to the council.
So maybe at some point they actually gave.
I believe he was a master.
So they must have actually, like, off screen, granted him the rank of master.
Oh, I'm looking that up. Hold on.
Them two don't coincide. I don't know what the big difference is. Why they decided to go that route.
Yeah.
Ahsoka is not anywhere in the cinematic universe.
Well, again, that was because that's Lucas again. Why did Yoda give Anakin a Padawan? Why does Yoda give Anakin? Okay. Yoda knows Anakin still carries many fears and cannot let go of his tragic past. He hopes by teaching, and that's what I figured. They hoped it would occupy him and keep him on track, and that makes sense. And that in that matter, and since it was Yoda's looking at what can I do to fix or to focus him on things that matter. So if I give him a Padawan, if I give him that, it will focus his energy on making sure they walk the right path, therefore making him walk the right path, and peace and love and kindness to the universe, which of course ultimately does fail, which again is another reason why I don't dislike how they did The Last Jedi, because he comes out and he flat out says, hey, we all make mistakes. And that scene right there, I still think is very Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, that was okay. And I can understand the logic behind it because by the tail end of like the last movie going into the third movie, even Obi-Wan was like, look, man, you need to be very wary of your friend, the Chancellor. So yeah, I could see maybe Yoda just doing this to kind of put his focus on something
other than his mother dead and all that,
and to help maybe prevent the influences of Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean, we know for a fact that Yoda and a few of the other masters know something's up.
Yeah,
with Anakin, they just don't know because he's hiding his love, he's hiding his anger, he's hiding a lot of stuff. They know he has anger, but they don't think they really. Obi-Wan knows some of it, and it isn't until
movie he didn't know it, but in Clone Wars he knows that Anakin is having some kind of relationship with Padme, because there's a particular episode Anakin is hiding and he getting one of the clones to cover for him. And
Hold on.
one says, "Tell Padme I said hello."
It's interesting that Lucas would have made that so sloppy in the beginning. You know, I mean,
I think the answers are there, but hold on. I'm looking up what the dialogue was on when he. I think the dialogue when they're on the flight deck is Obi-Wan actually flat out says, I know what's going on. I know you have this. Yeah, I know you love her or whatnot. He knows about it. And he even approaches her, of course, and says, I know what's been going on between you two.
On what?
In Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. When Obi-Wan goes to Padme in Revenge of the Sith, he knows. So we're trying to.
He actually goes to her apartment.
Yes, and he says he knows. I just think he hasn't said anything because he thinks he can fix Anakin, and that's the thing. He even admits it. I thought I could teach him as well as Yoda. So a failure. He's a failure because he thought he could fix it, and he just sees it spiraling out of control.
Because when he leaves Padme, she says something about bring, like take care of him and bring him back. And he says something kind of like, I don't know,
He's like, I don't know if I can, but I'm not sure if it's as sloppy as we think it is. It makes sense in the sense of that. I think Obi-Wan would have known something, but as his master, he again would not want to go to the council and have them fix a problem he thought he could fix.
Especially when he have his own love interest, because he loved one of the
and that's the thing though. But then again, let's be honest. You can say that none of the Jedi are supposed to love, but the thing is we know several times. But think about monks in reality. I'm sure monks and priests have had a love or somebody they truly love. They just have to learn. That's not what I chose.
Yeah,
that's not how I chose to live my life. So I think they can still love somebody.
Well, yeah, because
they can't act.
But leaving the negative connotations out of the whole priesthood with everything that has gone on and and the cover-ups and stuff, the act of actually becoming a priest or something like a priest, like a monk or something, to where you devote your life to like this one calling, and you can't actually physically be with somebody according to the rules. Like, I mean, if you go into that with like the purest of intentions, that is like a form of love in itself, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's selflessness, and it's showing like you have love for the world and everything in it, that you want to devote yourself to try to help them.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if it's as sloppy as we're thinking. It's kind of confusing because without watching. Okay, put it this way. I think what we have to do is we have to wait till 7. And going back to what Danny says about a lot of stuff, we have to wait till this is over and see where this fits in. Because here's the thing. If this fits in up until like near the end of episode 3, what we have to do is we have to wait till it's over. Then if you really want to get a true understanding of how this works, you'll have to watch these movies and these shows in the order they go to really see, okay, does it help make sense or does it still seem muddy? If it makes sense, because again, if I remember right, this basically goes episode 1, episode 2, the Clone Wars movie, then we're going to put the whole Clone Wars show in there. And if season 7 fits somewhat with the third movie with episode 3, then we'll have to kind of make 7 and 3 work together. And then if it makes sense overall, fine, because here's the problem. We know that there's issues within Mandalorian,
Oh yeah,
but
I mean,
overall, it makes sense.
as long as it overall makes sense, and there are little nitpicks like we had with the Mandalorian, then that's cool. I mean, ultimately, again, like we've said before, it's just it's something. It's entertainment. It's not the end of the world. George Lucas, while many regard him as this great visionary, he's still human. He makes mistakes. Disney, the people who run Disney are human. They've clearly made mistakes. So to go after somebody, and like people are have like historically gone after Kathleen Kennedy and Iger and stuff because of the mistakes. And I early on I was guilty of this too, but I mean, looking at the way the world is right now, you kind of have to just let things go. You really do. I mean, you need to hold yourself accountable as a human being right now, and say, look, does this really impact my life on like a scale that matters? And the answer is no. And so you appreciate Star Wars for what it is, and the escapism that it is, regardless of whatever area that you might have with it.
Well, I've always said it, Sean, when we used to talk about The Last Jedi and stuff, I can make it work.
Oh yeah, I know. Because
I mean, I can look
like
at
41 copies of The Last Jedi.
I don't have a copy.
Platinum edition, signed by Darth Vader himself.
But I can make all this work. I can understand it. The thing is, I understand canon, I understand all of that, but yeah, is it really something that, if you can sit back and watch it for a couple of hours or whatever it is, and it passes a time, and you can watch it and you're not puking, that's kind of the thing. I mean, is it really something to lose your crap over?
No.
If it's just not exactly what you want.
Well, like memes of destruction just said, but the hot takes and the money from making rage bait, and that's exactly it. Like right now, I think, and I know this is going a little off topic, but I think right now, if you take on the role as a YouTuber, I think you have the responsibility to be putting positive things out into the world. Be
nice.
I have in a video a couple of times I've called on YouTubers in general to just stop.
Positive stuff don't get clicks, bro.
I understand. I understand, but I
mean, it's a shame. I mean, I don't think I put out anything negative, but and my channel's not doing well as people that does put out.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Sean and I know I can attest to the fact that if you find that happy medium between everything, I talk Star Wars and stuff, but I don't trash anything. I want objectivity for it, but I don't need to sit there and drill into, my stuff. Let's be honest, my channel is not just YouTube. It's not just comics. It's not just music, even though right now I've been doing a lot of music like Sean.
We've started to find our niche where we fit in, and we do a little bit of everything, and we try to be objective. And right now, I might, if I review something, like I will review like maybe a music video, and I will give you my honest opinion. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you what I don't like about it, but I'm not going to say this is the worst piece of garbage that I've ever been, introduced to. I mean, we need to give the people something that is interesting, and the people that are still making like 10 videos a day off of Captain Marvel and Star Wars and stuff like that. I understand they're making money off of it, but they're just feeding into the problem. They're not helping.
How long are we going to be able to do this? Because here's the thing: how long are you going to be able to go on something and keep driving at it until, you know, a movie company just decides, well, you know, we're done with this for right now. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Well, that's great. You know, I like objectivity and just, you know, I'm like you, Shaun. Why are we going to argue with each other on things?
Orange Hat brings up a good point. He says, try telling that to an autistic like me, Shaun. It's not easy to unsee flaws and changes to something you're comfortable with. I get that.
Yeah,
I do.
There's a way to check.
But basically, all I'm saying, Orange Hat, is, you know, that right now, I think we would be doing a better service to not poke the bear, you know, more like any more than we already have right now.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to let the dust kind of settle on things. You know, have your issues with it. I mean, I have my issues with it, but, you know, I've made like pretty much peace with what flaws there are.
You got to know where to stop. You just can't.
Exactly.
A lot of YouTubers, or some channel, I'm not gonna say it. A lot of channels I've seen, they just beat the horse, beat the dead horse, beat the dead horse, beat the dead horse. 2 days later, beat the same dead horse, beat the same dead horse. So you gotta be like, okay, I've covered it, I've touched base. Let's move on to the next subject.
Exactly.
And that's what I did. You know, like for me, whenever the Rise of Skywalker came out, I did a retrospective on all 3 films. I did it as a retrospective of the trilogy, and I don't think I've done anything on Star Wars since, except for, was The Mandalorian still going on?
But it's technology, because a lot of YouTubers that I've talked to do 2 things. First, they go to their dashboard and look at the analytics. Analytics say on such day, such time, you did this, 10,000 clicks. They're gonna keep trying to dig it, use that same well, instead of trying to find a new well. And also, you're gonna see the clicks, not only clicks, but they're gonna go every morning and see what's trending. It could be something they don't give a damn about, but it's trending. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that. And sometimes the information is informed, sometimes it's not informed. Sometimes it's researched, sometimes it's not. So,
yeah, and that's the thing. As I want informed opinions of this stuff. I think the 3 of us do pretty good on informed opinions on this, on current event stuff. Memes is completely right here. Hatred is unsustainable. That's coming from someone who let it consume them at one point. You can't hate something constantly. If you don't like it, fine, drop it, walk away.
There's one channel boy that hates Disney with a passion. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's like when one get tired, then they get another one. Oh,
I mean, look. Look.
Oh, it's your turn.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. It is. But if I can make peace with Gary Sharon doing an album with Van Halen back in 1998,
hey, he redeemed himself live. Okay, let's be honest. He redeemed himself live.
I made peace when I saw the live concert and I heard everything from the Roth era that I've never seen live. I was like, holy crap. Okay, but yeah. It is what it is, and you know, I understand. You know, like Chris and I, we're both monetized. You know, we do make some money off of this platform, but I'm not going. And it's just me, you know, and probably Chris too. But I'm not the type of person that looks at my analytics and I say, okay, this is what is doing well. I'm going to just beat the crap out of this. I do what I want. You know, and if something catches on, you know, then that's cool.
I'm not saying you don't, and I believe what you're saying, but I when I first started off, I start looking at stuff. What make YouTube channel successful? Well, you gotta do this, where you gotta do that.
Sure.
And one of the first things they tell you is you got your analytics. Make sure you get good thumbnails. Make sure this, that kind of stuff. So I'm not where I want to be yet, but.
No, but you know, here's the way I look at this. Yes, do I look at my analytics? I do. But the reason why I look at them is when I'm doing stuff, I want to focus my efforts to things I know people want to watch. Mm-hmm. So when I'm doing like band videos and stuff like that, the ones I see the most reaction from, that's where I try to go. So then when something drops off in numbers, I'm like, okay, so why last week did I have, let's say, 2,000 views on this band, but this week that same band, the video that, or the the live performance I did. Why did this one this week only, or 2 weeks down the road actually? Because I give it time. But let's say
you look at the views. I
want to know why did the same band that gave me 2,000 views 2 weeks ago only give me 400 the next time around? What was it? Was it me? Was it the video I showed? Was it the
I do the same thing, and that's about as far as I can go because I don't even understand the analytics, to be honest.
I understand some of them, but it's not about that. It's about, I look at it as to how do I hone what I have done and form it to make it better.
Right now I'm just trying to get to about 4,000 hours. So that's why I'm doing the 3 hour live stream. Once I get there, I want to look at how many people are clicking and what's the length they're clicking. You can find that sweet spot.
You can. And I'm not even worried about like you, Danny. I mean, you're I mean, once you get there and you find what's going to work for you, I mean, I think you're going to be awesome. You're not going to be one of those YouTubers that we're taught, that we're discussing that's just going to beat the crap out of a topic.
I'm not.
I just don't think that's in your nature. So,
I mean, see, but I mean, I think, like I said, we're all three the same similar type of YouTuber. We will touch on things, but when we're done saying it, we've said it. I mean, yes, we all are, the three of us do different shows together and we're on other people's shows and stuff like that. So we do touch on the same topic more than once.
Yeah, if it's something hot, then a week is sufficient. Maybe 2 stretching it.
Yeah,
going into months and
and that's what I'm saying.
We need 4, and I'm still talking about Van Halen or damn whatever. Hell no.
Well, you see, I mean, it just depends. Is it new? Is it a new?
If there are developments,
I'll give you a prime example. This Ezra Miller. I might talk about it one more time, but I'm not talking about it no more. I hope he didn't attack the woman.
Yeah,
because I'm not condoning men putting their hands on women, but okay, you can only talk. I don't talk about it 3 times in 3 different shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to talk about it next week unless something new. If they show additional footage to what they're showing, I don't have enough information right now to form a conclusion. Because unless what I saw, it looked like it was staged, like they were not angry and upset. So why keep saying that over and over and over and over, like some people are?
I know there are so many videos as I scroll through YouTube that are just still like they're just pounding the hammer on the Ezra Miller thing, and I'm kind of like, we've talked about it on multiple shows, each of us have, and I even did a video on it initially when it was like fresh, but until like you said, Danny, until there's like additional footage that shows it was him, or either party comes out and says something about it, in the media, then it's really kind of, what's the point? Because there's no other, additions to the story.
But that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying right there. If you have nothing that's new, you cannot go further on than what we know. We know it looks like Ezra Miller, but we don't know because there was no police report taken. The police weren't called. He was thrown out. She hasn't pressed charges. Nothing's come out that she was hurt. End of story. We're at a dead end.
Yeah,
we can't talk about it anymore. It's not like we can speculate, but speculation does not give an informed opinion. It gives bias.
Exactly.
And what I want to be as a YouTuber is as informed as I possibly can. Now, if you ask me my opinion of something,
I was just going to go there. Yeah,
opinions are biased in general, but
if they're backed up by fact, then
there's the thing. But right now, like we're talking about,
we don't have any facts on this right now.
So what should an informed YouTuber do? They should just drop it for now. Wait until see what comes out, because we're not helping what we do. We're not helping. If you want to see a Flash movie by keeping this in the media, we're not helping it, because all we're doing is we're stoking a fire that has nothing truthfully in it. And so therefore it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. And then what the next thing you know is they say, well, Ezra Miller's out because all this stuff, and we have no clue what happened, but we have this video. We're going to just go by this video. He's out, no Flash movie, blah, 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 blah.
That's what I'm afraid of, because we still have this cancel culture, where even though there is absolutely no tangible proof, that there is outrage on social media about this, even though there's nothing to back it up. And like the thing that happened with Chris Hardwick, he got fired from the post show for The Walking Dead, just because somebody made an accusation. He got rehired when it turned out to be false. But I'm just tired of this stuff, man. If this was real, if we find out that this was real and this was a real altercation, then that is a totally different story. That changes the narrative completely. But right now, I mean, people are being outraged over nothing. There's no one is saying anything else.
Yeah, they saw a 25-second clip,
yeah,
and want to try to destroy this man's career.
Exactly.
Oh, he should be banned from the Flash. How about they find out in their investigation that it was all a hoax? He didn't spit on anybody.
Yep.
They were friends. They just made that all up. And how people that said it won't care, but you should care.
You should,
because you saw a blip, a snippet or something, and you trying to destroy this whole man's future.
In that snap, I mean, people, like you said, they're trying to take away his livelihood, and destroy him.
Or it seems to be the new thing now. Oh,
yeah.
Let's go.
I saw Shaun Lucky slap Susie.
Yeah.
Let's ban him off of YouTube forever.
Well, let's, and this is exactly what I was talking about when we started talking. Well, it's been going on for years, but the Amber Heard situation.
Yeah.
Folks, you're talking about something you really don't know about. Yes. Do we believe that she's lied? Yes. But then again, I've found articles where Johnny Depp has admitted to, yes, I lied and called and reported things that weren't true. And then they both came out, like when they were getting ready to get divorced, she had a suit on him, and then it got dropped, and they both came out and said, we've never said anything that wasn't that untruthful about the, or whatever. I don't know. Again, when you don't really know, because you're not there, you're not their ad rep or somebody like that, or their personal assistant who's there every day. We don't really know. We're only getting this from them. Now, yes, it's going to go to court, but when court happens, then we can say, okay, maybe she should be fired. Now with the current situation going around, from what I've heard, they're dropping her because they have to redo all the contracts anyways, but I don't know that for sure.
I heard they were just reducing her role.
They might. I don't know. But I don't know. That's the thing. We don't really know for sure. And
we don't. And we just need to learn. Like, if there's one thing that we should learn, and if there's only one thing we should learn, we should learn a lot of things, but if there's only one thing that we take away from this whole crisis that's going on right now, is that there are so many, and I mean so many more things in this world that are more important than playing
movie star life.
Executioner.
Yeah, thing.
I mean, we need to, like, we're like, so many people are confined to their homes right now, and we're not able to go out into the world and do things that we took for granted just like a month ago, and so after this is all over, we need to stop condemning and playing judge, jury, and executioner, on social media, and just go out and enjoy life, live life. Whatever happens in like a celebrity's life, if it comes up in casual conversation, that's cool. But I mean, my God, live your life and mind your own business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really don't. Well, I'm not criticizing anybody's profession, but like those people in that takes the pictures, I forgot what they call it.
Paparazzi.
Paparazzi. Oh,
yeah.
That has to be a stressful and almost non-existent life where you just basically trolling somebody in real life.
Yeah.
God. I mean, it must be really pays a lot of money. All I can say.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they get like, you're really lucky if you're like a paparazzi and like somebody takes a picture of an actor assaulting you, trying to take a picture of that actor, then you become like all wealthy and stuff. So so many of the paparazzi try to be over the top to try to get these actors to lash out at them, and that's just scummy, man. That is just so scummy.
It is. I mean, I don't know. You're right. I mean, let's put it this way. I think that there's a happy medium between what you're saying, Shaun. Yes, there's more important things in life, but hey, it's entertainment. Let's talk about let's not beat, and like Danny said, let's not beat the dead horse. Once you have let people know, unless you're going on somebody else's show to talk about it, I don't need to see 5,000 videos on one person's channel to get the fact that you don't like something or that you think something's wrong. Every time somebody comes out and says something that is related to, that is either an actor from Star Wars or mentions Star Wars, it's like people jump on the bandwagon and say, okay, I want to talk about this. Daisy really doesn't feel like she's loved by Star Wars fans. Whatever. New topic. Let's talk about it for the next 2 weeks until the next person comes out. Whatever it is. I understand your point. I know there's more out there to talk about.
There is, but let's kind of put it in this, and this isn't like a political thing, but let's kind of bring up the news cycle and stuff. Okay, I think that has a lot to do with what's going on, in pop culture and social media. So let's bring it back to Walter Cronkite. Okay, Cronkite. Let's get back to Walter Cronkite. When he was on the air, he reported the facts.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know how he voted. You didn't know his opinion on the situation. No. All you knew was he reported the facts to the best of his ability. That was it. And
that's what him, Dan Rather, Tom Brokaw. It was here's your news. Here's your news. I don't have a say in it. This is just the news. I'm not going to give you an opinion. And yes, I understand 60. See, if you want the opinions on the news, you go to 60 Minutes, which was an opinion show. It was a editorial show. 60 Minutes, Meet the Press, things like that. That's where you went for your opinions.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's, and I don't care what news organization you want.
Every news
MSNBC, CNN, all of these. It's their opinions, and that's fine, I guess. I mean, but I've literally have stopped watching the news because I'm getting tired of, obvious news that never changes day to day. And I'm like, okay, I understand. I don't need to hear new numbers because I understand it's bad.
Yeah.
But I can't watch CNN. I can't watch Fox because God knows it's the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. It's Biden's fault. It's somebody's fault. It's like, I don't think that has anything to do with what we're doing.
No, it's definitely not helping our situation.
No.
It's not helping the world right now. There's plenty of blame to go around. Just get in line. We'll pass it out once this is all done. But as for right now,
we just need to figure out how to get the country back on a sustainable foot. Everybody can go back to but okay, let's think about us first. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying America, in order to help the world. What?
That's funny.
Well, but listen, if America is known to help the world, then America's got to fix whatever.
I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I'm just saying it's funny saying it out loud. That's all I'm saying.
Chris is gonna get hate now.
I
feel like Al Borland. I need that sign. That.
I'm not saying this.
That's Tim Taylor, courtesy of Tool Time.
But what I mean is that in order for the United States to help other countries, we got to get ourselves back on a solid footing.
We do.
In order to do that, we've got to make sure
that we so hate it. Nobody's going to give us a hand.
And maybe, that could be. But here's the thing: China will, because China relies on our economy as much as we rely on theirs.
Ooh, I don't know.
China fucking us. If you listen to the news, they're the number one distributor of the PPP.
Yes. And they've been getting some stuff from. You see, here's the thing. All I'm saying is we need to fix and get back to some sort of a normal. We need to
but we got to do it ourselves.
Yeah, well,
For 6 months, we got to start worrying about making a profit
Yeah.
and turn whatever manufactured cuts we have into making stuff that's going to build these ventilators, going to come up with this drug, going to make this protective gear. We gotta focus on that because nobody in the country is going to help us.
And Jenny, you know what's really sad, Danny, is the fact is generations ago we were doing this stuff.
For sure.
Depended on ourselves. We would have already, we would have already had factories up spinning. I mean,
lazy.
But we outsourced so many things over the years because it was cheaper.
And you know why? I pour this right here, what we own right now. It's good, but it's evil.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is that, we personally.
You got some people that stay in front of this camera and on the keyboards all day long and don't do nothing.
Yep.
This right here. When you got to get out, you got to make relationships. I mean, it's good. The Bible speaks of it. He who increases knowledge increases sorrow.
Yeah.
That's in Proverbs. And we are living it now.
But we need, like I said.
I mean, I've already decided, once this whole thing is done and we're given the green light and it's safe to venture back out into the world again and start to resume a normal. See, I've already decided that aside from, the mandatory things, I need to do social media wise that I have to do for the YouTube channel, I'm done. I want to actually, if, my friends, I actually want to see them. I want to have a conversation with them in person. I don't want the legacy of my life and even more so the human race to be like, oh yeah, we're friends, but we haven't seen each other in 20 years because it's easier just to send them a message on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
Shaun, I'm not calling you out because I don't know you that well to call you out. I'm just saying I hope what you're saying. I hope everybody that's saying that sticks to it because we love to say stuff when the shit's hitting the fan. And right now, the shit is, and I'm not saying that you won't do it. I don't want you to think that because it's kind of like this right here is kind of like every January, everybody say, okay, I think I'm going to the gym and I'm going to do this. And you may go for 6 weeks and then guess what? You fall. So I hope that this whole crisis will wake the whole country up, especially us fat, lazy Americans and myself. And I hope it wakes us up because this right here is crazy.
Well, I mean, it's a complete game changer, as far as the way we think about our lives. And, the reason I said this on this show is because I think everybody needs accountability. You need accountability to yourself. And, also there are people in our lives that need to check you every once in a while and make sure that you are being accountable. And I mean, look at the world. I mean, the media was created to keep politicians accountable, for their actions. That was the original.
Sometimes the media, this is going to sound crazy, but sometimes the media and the First Amendment is overrated.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't need to know all the fucking details. All you need to know is that you put gas in the car and it's going to run.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
No, I don't disagree.
Burp said something great. He said that the bright side of all this happening is that this is the best time to be productive and creative.
Yep.
And that's absolutely true.
Good time to reconnect with your family. Good time to find out what hobbies you may actually like and are good in. I was in the house for my job last Tuesday. I came home at 5 o'clock and I did not leave my home until yesterday, which was Sunday, long enough to go and get some food, come back, be con, and I went to work today. I'm going to work until Friday and then I'll be off for another 5 days. And I'm telling you, I didn't feel cabin fever until day 5.
Yeah. All right, guys. Give us some time to reset and go over to Danny's channel. Make sure you look at the links below in the description. You can find Danny's channel. We're going over there for the KI conversation in about 30 minutes. So make sure you head over there and follow us to talk about some stuff over there. Danny, go ahead and tell them about your channel and what we're doing tonight.
Yeah, I'm 1/3 of the chaoscentral.com network involving these two gentlemen here, myself, Shaun, and Chris. On Monday nights, I start off the week, and my show it's called The Chaotic Conversation. Tonight's topic we will be ranking the Star Trek captains. There's 5 of them. I know there's more, actually, if you're a Trekkie fan, but I'm only going to do 5 from the actual shows that were on TV, minus 1. I didn't watch Andromeda. But anyway, tomorrow we'll be on excuse me, Shaun's channel, which is the Chaos List, and then again on Sunday we'll be back on the Rule of 3, back on Chris's channel. So please join us, please support us. We need your subs, and thank you for your support.
Oh yeah. Here, really quick, in the chat again is the Chaos Central YouTube channel link. Go there, please subscribe. We're at like 31 right now. We need 100 to get our vanity title or our vanity link. Once we get that, we'll start doing all 3 of these shows over there. Next, Shaun, why don't you tell people about yourself and your channel and stuff like that?
Well, I'm roughly 50 away from hitting 3K, as far as subscribers. And, I'm very thankful for everyone who is subscribing. I appreciate everyone who leaves a comment. I cover a lot of things, pop culture, and I talk about, some world things every now and then if I feel like it's something that's weighing on my mind, but mainly you come over to my channel and kind of like Chris and Danny, I'm going to do something that I'm going to try to entertain you. I'm going to try to stimulate your mind, make you think a little bit, but I'm not going to like throw these depressing things at you, or I'm not going to try to stir up anger in you. I'm going to try to entertain you. I've started doing online gaming, and streaming from Nintendo Switch, and that's been a lot of fun. Trying to relearn Pokemon because Pokemon Sword is like a completely different beast than like the last Pokemon game I played on the DS. So yeah. Just come on over to Shaun Stackhouse Reacts, and we'll have a good time. Also, Chris and I, and I'm sure Danny would too. We take requests. I mean, if you want to see something, and if it's something that we have the power to actually bring to you, we'll do it.
Yep, most definitely. Yeah, and then my channel, Real Review 3000, where you're watching this right now, but it's also simulcasting over on Chaos Central's YouTube channel. Much the same thing as what you hear from Shaun. Shaun and my channels are fairly similar, a little different on opinion, of course, but fairly similar. I do plan on doing some game streaming coming up soon.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Chris, not to cut you off, but I had somebody, and I appreciate them bringing this to my attention just in case that it was not you. But they wrote to me and they said, there's a guy over on the Real Review 3000. He's using your For the Love of Vinyl intro. And I was like, it's cool. It's cool. Yes.
Watch it. It's got both of our names on it.
I know. It's like, yeah, it was my original idea, but Chris and we kind of have sister channels, so yeah, it's fine. But I appreciate that you brought it to my attention, just in case that it was somebody that was not you.
And what's funny is that I get people that are like, I don't know if you know Shaun Stackhouse. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sure we get a lot of that in conversations. But basically, if there were new trailers coming out and if there was some idea of when that trailer or when that movie would actually be out, I'd probably go back to some trailer reviews. But that's just not in the place. So a lot of music reviews right now. Shaun and I both do retro reactions, again, mostly his idea originally. But I'm doing some of those. I have my opinion pieces here and there, but like I said, it's a one-time thing. I say it and I'll drop it unless there's new news. And when there's new news, I'll do another one on it. And you can look at my like Spider-Man and Disney thing that went on a while back. Yeah. That I did 3 of those, and each one of those though is when new stuff came out. So yeah, you know what. But guys, please go over to Chaos Central's YouTube channel. Please subscribe there. If you're not subscribed to my two guys here, Shaun Stackhouse or Danny Graham at Comic Chat, please go and subscribe to them. Their links are down below. And with all that said, guys, you guys are awesome. We appreciate everybody that came and watched. And we're going to be over on Danny's channel here in just a little bit. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you very much for showing up. And guys, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.